Hey, Happy New Year. This is Brandon Steele, a CFP financial advisor with Mainsail here in Bellevue. Really excited to bring to you another weekly update. Again, our goal here is to just really break down all the noise that we hear in the media every week, every day, and just kind of bring you a quick 10-minute summary to bring you the important things that's happened throughout the week, and that way you can really take in what may relate to you specifically, and block out all the noise that we hear on a daily basis, especially in this year of 2020. So speaking of, Happy New Year's, everybody. It's New Year's Eve here at 1 o'clock today. We'll be back to our normal schedule next week. So next week, we'll be back to the 3 p.m. sessions each Thursday, but appreciate your patience here and kind of bearing with us a bit during the holiday weeks. And hope everybody's relaxing and having a good time, getting ready to put this crazy year of 2020 behind us. Before we get into things, I just want to kind of remind everybody, and for those who haven't heard yet, very, very excited as we move into the new year. Come spring-ish, actually probably sooner than that, be releasing a book I've been working really hard on. 2020 gave us some challenges, but also some opportunities to do some things that I may not have had a chance to do otherwise. So very, very excited. I'm actually basically done with it. It's just a matter of kind of some final touches to get it ready for printing. So very excited to offer that for anybody who wants to claim their free copy and also be entered into a drawing for a free financial plan. Go ahead and reach out to us. You can email us info@mainsailfg.com. You can reach out to me directly. Whatever works, just let us know that you want to claim your copy, and we'll be sure to enter you in that drawing as well. And, again, we should have that out sometime in Q1 for sure of 2021. So very, very excited about that, and excited just for, what the 2021 new year will bring us. So speaking of, obviously, again, this is New Year's Eve. So this week has been a little lighter as far as trading goes as well. We talked a little bit about this last week. During the holiday weeks, trading just thins out a little bit. We had a little kind of steady march up, I guess, if anything, but for the most part, not a whole lot of movement one way or the other. It actually ended up that towards the end of the day here today, markets just closed. It's about 103 here on Thursday. Markets just closed. At the end of the day, there was a little bit more volume, but pretty standard week here, I think, generally speaking, for this time of the year. But get ready. As we move into next week, we'll be back to normal. We'll be back to normal trading. And I think that, the beginning of the new calendar year can be kind of telling of what may be to come, especially with what we've seen lately, where again, we've been in this kind of trading range where we haven't really been able to break out one way or the other. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in that first full week of January, I should say. So let's go ahead and get right into some of the market news here this week. Again, with the holidays and everything, last Thursday we had a half day, Friday was closed. This week we have 4 days, and then tomorrow the markets will be closed. So it's a little lighter. But yesterday we did have pending home sales data come out. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a negative number, which was interesting considering it seems like since we've started doing these, a couple months or so ago now, the home data has just been up and up and up. So it's not a huge deal, but pending home sales were down about 2.6%. We also had just today the initial jobless claims come out, as they do every week. This week they came out at just shy of 800,000. So 787,000, I think, was the official number. It's good. We're under the 800,000 number. We talked about this recently, how we had kind of been in that 700,000 range for a while. And then with some of the shutdowns and things going on, that number spiked up a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign that maybe we're coming back out. And then I think probably the biggest thing of the week has been, as you probably are all very well aware, has been the stimulus talks. So it looks like there's becoming a little bit more resolution on that. I don't think it was too much of a surprise. Honestly, there wasn't, any big changes in that really. So I don't think the market really reacted one way or the other. We had talked about it briefly last week, but I think a lot of what we knew had already been priced in to some degree into the stock markets. And so I think that's kind of where we're at. So again, the markets are closed tomorrow on Friday. And then moving into next week, here we go. We're in 2021 and we're back to full weeks and full days in the markets. The biggest thing is that right out of the gate, we're going to get the jobs numbers. We're going to get the ADP employment. We're going to get the non-farm payrolls, all that stuff that has really, really been an important focus for those who follow us weekly. For those who don't and are new, jobs, sales, and income and spending are really what we're paying attention to, especially with the COVID challenges right now. So jobs is going to be really important as we look into next week there, and it'll be interesting to see how some of those numbers shake out. With that, I want to get into the question of the week, which I think is really good and really timely. Somebody had asked, what are some things to maybe consider as we move into the new year? And I think it's a perfect time to share some thoughts. For you guys, if you have any questions for us, and especially as we move into 2021, we're doing all we can to try and make this a little more effective for you. So if you have any things that you would like us to cover, if you have a question of the week, you can either text us 425-502-7693, or you can email us info@mainsailfg.com. Be more than happy to help answer your questions and just kind of help you out a little bit more hands-on through these weekly updates as well. So the question of the week this week, again, what can we do as we move into the new year? And I think I want to break it down to 5 kind of key areas to focus on. As with anything, when we talk about financial planning, it all starts with kind of resetting and clarifying your goals and your priorities. So let's start there, right? Really making sure that we're kind of back on track, especially 2020 with this world of noise. Let's kind of focus on where we want to go. And that way we can have really clear intentions of where we're aiming. Second is reviewing beneficiaries and estate planning documents. I've seen so many times that these things can be out of date. And so I usually recommend at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, whatever's best, but at least once a year, just checking that stuff and making sure everything is lined up properly. Third is to get a little head start on tax planning. We saw so much change in 2020. And for those who aren't familiar with some of the things we've talked about before, check out our website. We've got a lot of blogs on some of the changes that happened this year. But as we move into 2021, most likely a lot of those things will smooth out, but some of them will still carry over. So really starting to think about how you can maximize your tax planning into the new year. With that is also reviewing, the fourth step is reviewing the 2020 and 2021 contribution limits. We have a blog on this as well if you want to check that out. There wasn't a lot of change, but make sure you understand what those are. That way you can either max out your last year contributions or set up to make sure you're maxing out next year's contributions. And lastly is to review your investments, right? Especially in 2020, we saw so much change in the market from March to the end of the year with the huge drop and then, a huge pickup there as well. So when we see that much fluctuation, investments can get very out of whack. So it's a really good time to just say, hey, let's get this back on track. Let's make sure that we're positioned how we really should be. And that way we can hit the ground running in a new year and make sure that, if something comes along and changes things up like last year, that we're prepared for it. So 5 steps, again, setting your goals, reviewing beneficiaries, getting a head start on tax planning, 2020 and 2021 contribution limits, and then lastly is your investment allocations. So it was a great question. I think that's hopefully helpful to everybody. And I really want to thank you guys as always for joining us here this week. I want to wish you guys a happy new year. It's an exciting time. Hopefully, I think when the clock ticks over, hopefully that means all our problems are behind us. I don't know if that will be the case, but we can all wish. But anyways, let's hope 2021 brings us a little better health, a little better fortune. And certainly looking forward to seeing you guys the same place here next Thursday at 3 p.m. Again, if you have any questions for us, email is info@mainsailfg.com. Happy New Year, and we will see you again in 2021.